Fine morning, students. I will once again welcome you all for the third semester. In this semester, we are going to study food and pharmaceutical microbiology as a core paper. And in this video, we are going to study a basic introduction about pharmaceutical microbiology. And we are going to cover the first topic, screening of antibiotic producing microbes. So coming to the pharmaceutical microbiology is the applied field of microbiology which is having a lot of job opportunities for microbiologists. It deals with the microbes involved in the productions of many products, particularly vaccines and antibiotics. So in this COVID-19 pandemic era, the vaccine is playing a very important role. So it also deals with the different testing protocols to assess the antibiotics. So antibiotics and vaccines is a very important topics under pharmaceutical microbiology. It also involves different procedures for testing the quality of the microbial products. And another important topic which we are going to study in this pharmaceutical microbiology is antimicrobial resistance or drug resistance and how to overcome these challenges. And in this pharmaceutical microbiology, I am going you to deal with the two units, Unit 4 and Unit 5. Unit 4 involves about the antibiotics, their isolation, antivirals and antifungals. And Unit 5 includes the topics which covers different testing protocols, antibiotic resistance and antibiotic resistant microorganisms, particularly like multidrug resistant tuberculosis, vancomycin resistant staphylococcus aureus and New Delhi metallo-beta-lactamase. So coming to the antibiotics, how can we define antibiotics? Antibiotics can be defined as a natural, synthetic or semi-synthetic substances produced by microorganism producing action against either bacteria, fungi and virus. So initially antibiotics is a term which has been defined for both antibacterials, antifungals and antivirus. But nowadays the World Health Organization has prescribed a term called antimicrobials, and we have narrowed the definition of antibiotics only to the antibacterial agents. So microorganisms play an important role in antibiotic production. So how to isolate the antibiotic producing microorganisms? So coming to the isolation, soil plays a very good reservoir for antibiotic producing microorganism because there are a lot of microbes present in soil which is under a mystery, which has a lot of scope. So coming to the bacteria, the most common bacteria which is used for antibiotic production is Bacillus, and next one is the Actinomyces and one the fungus. So already all of us know that the first ever known magic bullet penicillin is produced from a fungus Penicillium, and next Streptomyces is produced from Streptomycin, and bacteria Bacillus, Bacitracin. So coming to the Bacillus is a very good reservoir of antibiotics. For the examples we can study, Bacitracin is against gram-positive microorganism, whereas colistin is against gram-negative microorganism, and bacillimycin is against fungi. So a same type of bacteria is used to, with different species, is used to produce antibiotics either for gram-positive, otherwise for gram-negative, otherwise for antifungals. So what are the different procedures we are going to? So this is the thing, antibiotics. So penicillin was produced from Penicillin notatum by Alexander Fleming in 1940, which is followed by streptomycin by Selman Waxman from Streptomyces, it is an antibiotic, and polymyxin and bacitracin from Bacillus. These are the first well-known antibiotics. So next, what is the media used for isolation? Generally we prefer nutrient agar if it is for bacteria, and if it is for Streptomyces we prefer either glycerol yeast extract or starch casein agar. If we are going to extract fungal culture, the preference of media is Sabron dextrose agar, and for all the screening procedures regarding antibiotic testing, we follow a Muller-Hinton agar, which is an enriched medium for supporting the growth of all different kinds of bacteria. Coming to the methods, there are two different methods for the isolation and screening. The one is the primary screening method and second one is the secondary screening method. So for isolating antibiotics from bacteria, initially we are following primary screening method. We are directly isolating the bacteria from the soil, and then we are testing the quality of the bacteria through secondary screening methods. So coming to the primary screening, we are following a standard technique called crowded plate technique. This technique can be performed in three different modes. The one is the serial dilution, second one is the soil sprinkle, and third one is the direct soil inoculation technique. And coming to the secondary screening, we may follow either antibiotic disc, we may check the quality of the antibiotics by disc diffusion method or by gradient plate method. So coming to the primary screening, so crowded plate technique, serial dilution. So the first method which we are generally employing, so this is a common practical which we are doing. So we are taking 1 gram of soil sample, we are dissolving in saline. Saline is nothing but 0.85 percentage sodium chloride, and we are preparing different dilutions of soil sample, and this diluted sample is inoculated in nutrient agar blade. Since we are focusing on bacteria, nutrient agar is a very good ideal medium, and then we are incubating the plates overnight and we are observing the colonies. The next one is the soil sprinkle method. This is a method in which there is no serial dilution. We are just sprinkling approximately 20 30 particles of soil on the surface of the nutrient agar plate seeded with the test organism. So the test organism commonly used is Staphylococcus aureus. For gram negative we are using E. coli, Pseudomonas and Klebsiella. So the first we have to spread our plate with the test organism, and then we have to sprinkle the soil. If the soil contain antibiotic producing microorganism against the test organism, then a clear zone will be produced, and we can test it the size based on the size of the zone. We can test the nature of the antibiotic production and their quality. Next, coming to the direct soil isolation. So here the soil is dissolved in approximately 9 ml of saline, and this sample is directly inoculated in nutrient agar plates, and we are incubating, and once again we are observing for zone. So this direct soil isolation can be performed in two different modes. The first one, without test organism, we can just inoculate the soil sample on the plate, and on the next day we can observe whether any one bacteria is having antagonistic activity of another bacteria. Another thing, just in the previous soil sprinkle method, first we can inoculate our test organism, we can spread our test organism, and then we can keep the soil sample, diluted soil sample on the surface of the agar, and we can check whether our sample produces a bacteria against the test organism. So these are three modes of method which is used for soil isolation of antibiotic producing microorganism from soil. And then for streptomyces, the general method which is used for streptomyces is we have to dissolve 1 gram of soil in 100 ml of saline, and we have to keep the soil at 20 degrees Celsius in a shaking condition approximately of 200 rpm for 30 minutes, and the samples are then diluted and the plates were inoculated for 24 to 48 hours. So whenever we are focusing on streptomyces, we have to suspend the soil and we have to keeping in shaking conditions for proper dissolution of the bacteria streptomyces. The next one is secondary screening. So in primary screening we have finished three different modes. The one is the serial dilution, second one is the sprinkling technique, and third one is the direct soil isolation technique. And coming to the secondary screening, we generally follow two different methods. One is agar diffusion, another one is the gradient plate diffusion. So in agar diffusion, in the primary screening, we have isolated some set of microbes, some crowding microbes, and from there we have to select a single pure culture and we have to test it. So pure isolated colonies of primary screening were inoculated in the respective broth. So we have to isolate the broth and we have to isolate the primary colonies and we have to prepare them in a respective broth. So generally nutrient broth is preferred and we have to incubate at 37 degrees Celsius. The culture supernatant were prepared. Generally the antibiotics are released extracellularly. So we generally prefer culture supernatant as a source of antibiotics. Sometimes suppose if we expect that our antibiotic is produced through intracellular, if it is inside the cell, then we have to centrifuge the supernatant, we have to take the pellet and then we have to sonicate the pellet in which the intracellular antibiotics will be dissolved, and afterwards we have to use the sonicated particle. So if our antibiotic is supposed to be an extracellular, we can use a culture supernatant. If our antibiotic is supposed to be an intracellular, we can use the sonicated pellet. So the another thing which we have to follow is the testing organism. So as previously discussed, we are using Staphylococcus and E. coli Pseudomonas klebsiella as a testing organism. We can isolate the testing organism from a clinical sample, or we can purchase it from standard cultures. So we have to prepare the testing organism in McFarland standard. So McFarland standard is a barium chloride. It's a mixture of barium chloride and sulfuric acid. So we can use either 0.5 or 1 or 2, 3, 4. So if the concentration increases, the turbidity also increases. So generally the preferable McFarland standard is 0.5 or 0.1. So we have to prepare this standard, and we have to grow our isolated microorganism which is expected to produce antibiotics in a broth, and we have to compare this turbidity with the broth. So our broth, our antibiotic producing culture broth should have a turbidity which matches either 0.5 or 1, which is going to be used. Next one is the secondary screening. In the secondary screening, the plates are kept in slanting position so that the plate receives more medium in one layer and a lighter medium in another layer. It is thick portion, thin portion. So we are using two different types of medium. Let me explain in detail. So the top layer is containing medium with the test organism, and the bottom one is the medium with antibiotics. So first we have to pour the medium with antibiotics, that is the medium with culture supernatant which is supposed to contain antibiotics. The next surface is the medium with the test organism which may be either Staphylococcus or E. coli. So next day we have to check the zone of inhibition. If there is a zone on the surface, then we can confirm that our antibiotic producing microorganism is having an effective action against the test organism. So the mechanism behind this method is the antibiotics in the bottom will diffuse and inhibit the growth of test bacteria. If there is inhibition, then zone will be produced. Next, so after isolation and screening, so far we have seen how to isolate antibiotic producing microorganism through primary screening and secondary screening. So what are the ideal qualities of chemotherapeutic agents? So if suppose we are going to isolate an antibiotic from a microorganism, what are the ideal qualities of a best therapeutic agent? The first one is a selective target. Our antibiotic should have a selective target. It should be either a gram positive or gram negative. So next one, it should be a bactericidal. So there are two types of inhibition. One is the bactericidal and bacteriostatic. Bacteriostatic just inhibits the growth of bacteria, whereas bactericidal kills the bacteria. So we have to prefer that our antibiotic should be a bactericidal. Next one is the narrow spectrum. There are two different types of antibiotics, narrow spectrum, broad spectrum. So coming to the narrow spectrum, it only kills a specific bacteria, so it does not kill the normal flora. Whereas in the case of broad spectrum, it kills a group of bacteria which includes also our normal spectrum. The fourth one is that it should have high therapeutic index, that is a ratio of toxic level to therapeutic level. So toxic level should be very, very reduced. Next one, few adverse reactions. So since antibiotic is a source extracted from plant, we encounter some allergic reactions. So the allergic reaction should be very, very less, or it should not be, there should not be any allergic reactions. And then our antibiotics can be delivered through different routes of administration, whether it can be in IV or IM or oral. And then it should have a good absorption. It should not be disturbed by the acidic pH, or it should not be disturbed by the enzymes in the intestine. The last one is it should have a good distribution to the site of infection, that is nothing but target specific. And the final one is the resistance should be low. Whenever we are using a narrow spectrum of antibiotics, the resistance will always be low. That's all, students. So far we have seen few points on how to isolate antibiotic producing microorganism through primary screening and secondary screening. And next we have seen what are the ideal qualities of a antimicrobial agent. So let us conclude our video lesson with a small practice questions. So the first question is, What is the composition of Macfarlane standard? So what is it's made up of? What is its composition? Can you guess and say? Yes. It's barium chloride and sulfuric acid. It forms a turbidity precipitate. So next question, what is the composition of saline? What is saline? Saline is, as you are correct, it is 0.85% sodium chloride, or generally we can say it as a 0.9% sodium chloride. So the next question is, what is the medium used for testing antibacterial effect? So far we have seen different medias. Whenever we are going to test the antibiotics, the appropriate enriched medium is, yes, it's Muller-Hinton agar. The next one, which of the following bacteria produces both antibacterial and antifungal agent? The one very most important bacteria that is having a reported to release antibacterial and antifungal agent, it is either Streptococcus, Bacillus or Staphylococcus. As it's Bacillus, Bacillus can produce bezitracin, which is against gram positive, colistin against gram negative, and bacillomycin against fungus. Yes, the correct answer is Bacillus. So that's all about this class. In the next class, we may see about what are the different types of antibiotics. Thank you, students. Thank you for your listening. Thank you.